Those of you who've been to Chessington recently might have noticed that there's a little bit of change going on in the park right now, and if you haven't noticed that, then you may have accidentally ended up in Gulliver's Milton Keynes. It's a very easy mistake to make. Anyway, Chessington have been expanding their park recently, with Shipwreck Coast coming in later 2022, with the former timber tugboat from Thorpe Park, and a ride that simulates what your mum says will happen if you leave the taps on for too long. But there's been something else. Something bigger, something stranger, something Jumanji. Yes, it is all but confirmed that Chessington are most likely going to receive a shuttle boomerang wing coaster, most likely from B&M, but something just doesn't sit right. I just feel weird about it. And let me explain. So a bit of backstory first. In May 2021, Chessington held a public consultation for a new area of their theme park codenamed Project Amazon, or Amazon Land, which sounds like what's going to happen when Jeff Bezos buys Merlin. Plans and concept art soon came afterwards, and people noticed two main things. The ride hardware appeared to be a wing coaster, and there was a pattern in the plaza that looked very similar to the Jumanji game board. The last one lines up perfectly with Merlin's new deal with Sony Pictures and Jumanji the ride opening. Is it called Jumanji the ride? I don't know. The new Jumanji Dark ride opening in Gardaland in Italy, which is another Merlin attraction, which was also opened by the Poundland version of the cast, such as The Cock and Karen Gillingham and Jack White. Oh wait, hang on. Anyway, the other side of the story is much more interesting, as the actual ride hardware involved in this Chessington area appeared to be a wing coaster that appeared to be by B&M, with the concept art, plans and CAD models all pointing towards it being a shuttle B&M wing coaster with a weird reverse spike, an inversion over the area entrance, a weird helix, banked spike at the end, this massive rock structure, and it's just weird. Now, this is weird for a few reasons. First of all, what? Why? Chessington is already a park that really struggles with capacity and throughputs and crowds, and I know this by previously working there. I'm more than willing to be proved wrong on this, but I just don't see it as the best option for Chessington. I think something like an Intamin quad would have worked a little bit better, especially with a Jumanji kind of junglish type theme. It would have been quite cool, but I'm hopeful that this is going to be the right decision. There's multiple other factors as well, such as the proximity to the Swarm, which is another B&M wing. I know they're very different layouts, but it's still the same ride type in a way. If it's a normal style of B&M wing seating, then it's going to be a 1.4 height restriction, which doesn't suit the park at all. And finally, the layout. As mentioned, shuttle launch, weird reverse spike, inversion over the area entrance, weird helix, banked spike at the top. Now, all of these elements seem to be out of place or just outright uncomfortable. Sitting in a winged seat with a vest or even just a lap bar and kind of tilting to the side, stopping there and then rolling backwards, that's going to be an uncomfortable experience, especially for smaller guests. But that is if the general consensus of this being a standard B&M launch wing is to be believed. And that's where we need to talk. I believe that this ride will be from B&M, because the CAD models point towards that. I believe that it will be a wing, because the concept art points towards that, and why would you make the concept art to be a wing if it wasn't going to be a wing? I just have a bit of a wild theory. Merlin love their worlds first, and B&M love taking rides and making them that little bit more boring, so I've kind of thought of an idea of what if B&M have been developing their own version of S&S's Axis, but for the family market. If you've seen videos of it, or you've gone onto Planet Coaster and gone, what's this weird bird roller coaster, you may have heard of Tranen, an S&S family coaster in which you sit in bathtub style seats and you kind of go around the track rather than rolling with the train. So it's a very popular family attraction, and I feel that B&M could kind of merge this Axis idea with this Tranen idea and make a good family roller coaster. In fact, I think S&S themselves actually developed a very similar idea to what I'm thinking of a few years ago, but made it more for a thrill market. I'll put a video up if I can find it but I don't think it's that out of the question. Who knows? So if that style of seating ever were to happen, what would the ride experience actually be like? If this were to happen, in terms of the ride experience, I'm guessing that they need to lock the swinging while it goes up the backward spike, because if it goes up that spike while swinging, people will turn into custard, and I don't really want to be seeing people scraped off of the seats. As for the rest of the ride experience, it makes a little bit more sense if it's swinging. For example, while you're going through the roll over the entrance sign, the track will invert, the trains will invert, but the seats will stay completely vertical. So it'd be a cool sensation. You'd kind of get shifted over the track as you roll through it. It might be a cool little element for people to have a little bit of a spectacle over. The helix while swinging could be an interesting moment. You're probably going to be banked to the side a little bit as you go up, and then it gets to the straight section at the top, and instead of being banked with the track where you're going to be at a really awkward angle, quite uncomfortable, hopefully you should just kind of calmly be swinging in your seat until it decides to go backwards again. I also feel like it fits the out of control, unnatural nature of the Jumanji franchise a little bit more. So that's my weird bet for the new Chessington roller coaster. Let me know what you think it's going to be. Let me know if you think that I'm completely wrong and out of my mind. Let me know if you're excited for the ride. Have you been following updates? Have you been kind of forming your own opinions, forming your own concepts? I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, please do let me know in the comments. While you're down there, subscribing and maybe even sharing with your friends or on Twitter would be very helpful. Speaking of Twitter, my @is @calvicus33, so you can follow me over there. I post updates about when I'm going to upload on that Twitter account. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon.